Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Random. It's your host, Smallwood Worldwide. We're back again with another TakeOff Sports segment, right? Today, our final segment for the year, 1st and 15th. What does that mean? So, like my Lakers here, we're playing from behind the 8 ball, but guess what? We still got to find a way forward. So, we're going to start this off right. We're going to talk about frauds, right? So, we're not going to give you the good stuff first. We're going to talk about frauds. 2022. We just having a little conversation off camera here. Somebody brought up Anthony Joshua, right? Now, for me, I think he's one of the biggest frauds of the year when you talk about boxing, right? You know, you see the six-pack, you see the smile, you see the dimples, and he get in the ring, he gets winded, he gets knocked out, he gets in the ring, he gets winded, he gets knocked out. You see a pattern here? Listen, what y'all think about Anthony Joshua? Was he a real champion in terms of like being able to carry the mantle here? Am I wrong? Or is Anthony Joshua like a fraud? Because every time I see him go against top competition, he takes a L. Even what was Big Boy with the Snickers commercial? He knocked him out and should have beat him the second time if he had a full training camp and stayed in shape. You know,
about Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz, that's his name. Yeah.
Andy Ruiz got hands.
Yes,
he got hands.
Yeah,
I mean, just because built like John Candy don't mean he can't rock
That's not
rock your whole head off your shoulders.
not fair. Yeah.
So like,
King Hippo came through, man, put him to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hands, but Joshua was supposed to win that fight.
Yeah, Joshua
I'm
was
going
supposed
Clubber Lang. I'm going paper champion. But anyway,
I said only built for Cuban links had very incredible hand speed. Like he had his hands was faster than he was hitting him like he was reaching for Snickers bars. It was crazy how fast he was.
And he was knocking him down so many times. Joshua kept getting up. He was like, "Oh, another one? Y'all keep giving him to him. Give it again."
I mean, hey, jealous ones envy still. You know what I mean? That's what he was out there doing. Andy Ruiz was giving him that work. But I mean, like I will say, it was just I don't know if I would call him a fraud. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he is in the championship level. But the fact that he never got in the ring with the Wilder, the fact that he never got in the ring with the Fury, and he kind of, I don't know if he made excuses. It's hard to say who makes excuses in the boxing game, but yeah, I know that he avoided those fights. And
I know that he's right now. He looks like a model in the ring playing a part of a boxer, so he might as well start in Creed 4. That's what I'm seeing, right?
I mean, I will say this, Antoine. The first time I saw him, I was like, some guys just get everything, you know. This guy's handsome as two models, man. He's built like a tank. It was very upsetting. So it was good to see him lose. I mean, you know,
I don't expect any. Go ahead.
I mean, he's 100% fraud. At this point, he should have fought at least one of those dudes. At least one of them. He could have fought Deontay after he lost to Tyson the second time.
Exactly.
Or even after the first time. Or he could have fought Tyson Fury after that. I don't know what I mean. I don't know if they're not signing paperwork. I don't know if it's a fight that people just aren't interested in seeing no more.
People are interested in seeing it, right? Behind the scenes, Anthony Joshua knows Fury has hands. The problem is Tyson Fury is shaped like your local master plumber that comes to your house to fix shit up. And so people think that he can't fight until he gets in the ring.
Yeah,
he has stamina. You knock him down, he gets back up, and then he has a little mean streak in him, right? He comes out like, he reminds me of like a bigger Bud Crawford. You know, like when you piss Tyson Fury off in the ring, he just starts unloading. And you see these guys, even, you know, old buddy who's tall as well, he blamed it on the costume last time he got put to sleep. He blamed it on everything but just giving props what props would do. Fury will sleep you, you know. It doesn't matter. And so Anthony Joshua was one of those cats that I feel like there's a little bit of, he's a great boxer, let's be clear, right? In the fight game, he's top tier. But then there's another level.
Come on,
Joshua.
As a boxer. Yeah. All boxers forget you're fighting. Sometimes you have to fight. You can't go for points. You got to go for broke. And I feel like every loss that he's had, he softens up with each hit that he starts taking. And I don't know what's going on in his head, but you saw the last one when he fought Usyk. What does he do? He starts going on a bizarre rant after the fight. It's like he's mad at himself. I'm like, if you had that aggression in the ring, you would have won. You know. I mean,
where's the Joshua that fought Klitschko, man? Where's that?
Yes.
Yes, that's no more, man.
That's a hungrier Joshua.
I was young, hungry Joshua.
I'm not saying that. I don't think that he's gotten necessarily relaxed or comfortable. He's not Rocky and Rocky 3. You know what I mean? He's not that guy. But I think that he does not have that all or nothing mentality.
Right.
When it comes to it, and if I was him, I wouldn't either. I mean, he could probably go out and do 1,000 other things, right? These other dudes have to fight. He doesn't have to fight. Not necessarily.
Do y'all think he took the Ruiz fight seriously?
I don't think
not the first one
seriously.
Yeah,
not as serious. But I think that if he
seems like the kind of fighter that goes for sure things.
Yes.
I think that if he did any film study on Andy Ruiz, he would have been like, "Oh, I need to make sure that I don't get caught with a 4-punch combo in under 2 seconds." Because that's what Andy Ruiz was giving out. He was handing out Popeyes combos all night. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's
gave him a 3-piece and a biscuit, and he was like, "Oh, he's down. Where is he?" He was still swinging, like, "Oh shit, he's down." I forgot.
Andy Ruiz was in there the whole night on the microphone. Number 21.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Joshua.
Andy Ruiz, he treated Anthony Joshua like he worked at McDonald's and he was a hungry customer at 3 a.m. and he just reached over the counter, grabbed the mic. "I'll take a number 5. Can you get that number 5? Large Sprite." I was like, "Yo," and add a 6-pack of Snickers. Thank you. I was like lost on Anthony Joshua losing his hunger. I'm trying to figure, when did fighters like stop fighting? Like now everybody wants to go to points. Everybody's trying to go to cards. I don't know if y'all watched that Baumgartner and Mayer fight as well. Mayer's a great fighter. She's a great fighter. But you know what Alicia said? "I'm going to kick your ass." And you know what she did? She did it. Yeah. And then after the fight, back on Twitter and everything else, Mayer's chasing her down, begging for a rematch. I'm like, you should have used that ferocity in the ring. You can't go into a fight saying, "I'm going to be a pugilist specialist. I want points. Give me points." This isn't your local Amex card. It's a fight. The other fighter's trying to take your head off.
I will say that I think that and this is something that I've talked to with TJ especially. I remember this one because we had talked about when Lomachenko fought the Axeman Walters from Jamaica. It's this little dude, little Jamaican dude. He's tough, right? He's a real tough guy, man. I mean, like, he used to come on HBO. But Lomachenko at the time maybe had, as far as professional fights, he probably had like 8 or 9. Which sounds ridiculous, but he's had like 400 amateur fights, right?
Right.
And he gets in the ring with Walters, and he is beating him about the head and face. It looks like Walters is getting jumped. Like, quite honest with you. And after 6 rounds or so,
one man.
And after 6 rounds, he's like 8, 9 of them, man. Like after 6 rounds, Walters is like, he's in the middle of the ring. He's like, "You know what? I'm done, man." He's like, "No, I'm done." And people were like, "Yo, why'd you quit? Why'd you quit?" And they interviewed him afterwards, and he was like, "Why would I sit here and get beat up?" I was like, He's like, "I have other fights that I can fight. I'm not gonna sit here and get beat about the head and face for the next to prove something to you." He's like, he literally went Ricky Waters, like, "For who? For what? What are you talking about?"
For what? That is
and I gotta say, like, that was actually the first fight where I looked back and I was like, you know what?
Did the right thing.
I think he did the right thing. Like, sometimes you can't be such a man that you end up like Dooku Kim or something. You know what I mean?
It reminded me kind of when what's his name? Andrew Galata quit when he was fighting Tyson.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. It turns
out
true. He was 1 punch from brain damage. He did the exact right thing.
Yeah. Sometimes when your body knows, it knows,
Yeah.
And I just feel like, look, if you're in a fight game and it's not in you anymore, stop while you're ahead. Quitting and quitting while you're ahead is not the same thing.
And let me just say, the reason why I mentioned TJ is because TJ does have a mentality of, "I'd rather die than lose." So it didn't make much sense to him. He was like, "Why would you stop? Why wouldn't you just die in there? I don't get it."
I was hard on Mosley too. After
you were, but that one also
happened to Mosley, yo.
Wait, which fight you were hard on him on, TJ? After which one?
On the
Mayweather one.
Mosley fight, I was hard on him. These 2 guys, man, they had to talk me off the ledge. It took them a while though. Took a while.
Yeah, man, he was sitting here like Sugar Shane went out like a chump. I'm like, nah.
I was disappointed, man. I was. Shane Mosley, he's a warrior, man.
I have often said that Shane Mosley in his prime was probably the only person who could beat Floyd Mayweather. And to be quite honest, he was out of his prime when he fought him, and He caught him pretty
Does
bad.
it in his prime, out of his prime, it wouldn't matter.
If the reaction from Floyd was like that, it wouldn't have mattered. No, I don't know. I don't know if it always would.
I don't know.
I'm telling you right now,
he went crazy.
Floyd Mayweather was hitting him with so many different chess moves, and it looked like Shane Mosley gave up. He didn't. He was thinking about how to get inside. He was thinking about how to beat this Philly shell, and every time he paused to think, he got his head rocked.
He got hit. Yeah,
he did.
And Floyd's hands were moving faster after the next, like after he got up, or not up, but after the round was done and he cleared his head,
right?
He like went into Matrix mode. He was hit. His hands were moving so fast. I've never seen him throw faster. Like I was like the Floyd Mayweather. I never seen him throw faster. Crazy. He just pissed him off. Sad.
Now it's one of those things, right? So to your point, Arjun, you know more technical boxing than I do. I'm just a super fan of boxing, but it's like I thought for sure that younger Sugar Shane would have put Floyd to sleep.
Nope.
And now but that's what I was going to say. I'm not sure if I'm right because it seems like everybody who's fought Floyd, he figures out an answer on the fly. Yeah. He's like the John Jones of boxing. Like the first round, you might touch him a couple times. Second round, another one. But after that, it's all downhill. And it's like he's downloaded your whole game plan.
Yeah.
And it gets embarrassing. Like I go back and watch some of those Pretty Boy Floyd fights, and I'm like, sheesh. This is embarrassing, you know. And it's not that these guys aren't good that he's fighting. He's fighting. He fought some real world-class fighters. For everybody that was like in the Pacquiao crowd, oh, he was ducking. No, check the resume. Look what Floyd did to what's old buddy Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Oh, not even that. You know,
that's good fight.
Yeah, he's that damn good.
He's fought a lot of good fighters. Like I think that people kind of discount. Even I even gave him a little discredit with the whole Mosley thing. But I mean, like he fought Cotto, he fought De La Hoya.
Yes, that's the name I was trying to remember too.
Yeah, he fought Canelo. He fought Canelo Alvarez. He has no business fighting Canelo Alvarez.
I'll be honest, I was scared for him in that fight because I was like, yo, Canelo's a little young G coming in. Like, I don't know.
And he embarrassed
the brakes off of Canelo.
He fought Manny Pacquiao. I mean, like this.
And he fought Marquez too.
Yes.
That was a shutout.
He really beat. It's a blowout. Like tell people, it's a blowout.
And I love Marquez, man. I thought it was gonna be a good fight. But
and the worst ass whooping I've ever seen in the ring.
Oh, don't bring it up. Don't say
my
it.
main man.
Don't say it.
Gotti.
Arturo Gotti, yeah.
Beat the hell out of Arturo Gotti. It was sad.
That was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
Yes.
Arturo Gotti looked like a 100% amateur. It looked like it might have been Arturo's third fight. That's how bad he beat him. And we know Arturo, he's about that life.
Yeah.
Whoever that ref is, that's the ref we needed for the first Fury Wilder fight. Anyway. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care what anyone says. Wilder won that first Tyson Fury fight.
Oh yeah,
I thought so too. I'm in a minority there, but I agree that he did. I thought he did for sure.
He won it because he was out. He was down. That referee let him clear his head. I don't know if he called the time. I don't know what he was.
He gave him the Buster Douglas treatment when Tyson was in Japan and knocked him down. It was like 15 seconds, and homeboy was over there looking for his mouthpiece, and he's in the corner chilling. And it's like, what are you doing? Count.
It was crazy.
The time is there. You know, I didn't understand that whole thing. It's like when you get a referee in the ring. You know, shout out to Mills Lane, R.I.P. You know, all-time GOAT of that. Let's get it on. You know. It's one of those things where I miss those kind of officials who are like old school that let you fight. Now, I feel like some of these officials are paid to kind of get in the middle, and they on fraud alert because I'm like, yo, especially if you pay for the fight, let them fight. You know, they're getting in between it like it's LeBron and like Beef Stew from Detroit. Like, no, we don't want them to fight. These guys are paid to fight. Let's see them fight. We don't want malice at the palace. We actually want to see these guys square up, and it's just like the ref is like, hey. I'm like, are you in it? Is this a three-way? What are we doing here? You know, this isn't UFC in Russia where y'all have 8-on-8. Like, come on. I missed that time because it was a special time. And I think that a lot of the fighters from the 80s, albeit they may have suffered for it, to TJ's point, they went out and killed.
They did. I don't know if you guys have seen Tommy the Hitman Hearns lately, but not a good look.
Doing better. I saw him on that hot boxing with Tyson. He wasn't slurring. He wasn't really slurring.
He wasn't?
Not really.
He sound bad to me, man.
What's that?
Beat Martin's ass. I mean,
that was funny.
Yeah, you know, crazy, man. Even with Tommy the Hitman Hearns like that, a little bit slower. He sounds a little slurred to me. He beat the brakes off of everybody on this podcast with one hand.
Yeah.
I ain't messing with him.
Yeah.
No,
he was messing with him during that interview. It was hilarious, man. He talks a lot of trash. I like.
I'm talking about Sugar Ray.
Yeah. He was
Sugar Ray was funny.
He told Tommy Hearns he'd take him out right now.
Yeah, Tyson's in there egging that shit on.
He was until they stood up. He's like, "Oh, come on, guys, come on."
Listen, it'll go from 0 to 60 real quick. Next thing you know, you got a new story.
Yep.
And they saw those checks. They're like, Tyson, didn't you do a couple exhibition matches? Can my heart stand this? Get a doctor here. Let's see what's up. Sugar Ray has a lot of pride, man. He has a lot of pride, man. He's still in good shape, though.
That is a guy who I didn't respect for a long time.
How?
Right.
Hagler. I mean, that's really the long and short of it.
Yeah.
It was Hagler. But going back through his career, I'm like, that's one of the meanest little dudes that's ever walked the face of the earth. He's so Ray Leonard was super mean, man. That was mean dude, man. Out here looking like Usher beating the brakes off of people.
Usher played him in a movie, right?
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, Usher deserved his ass whooped for that, but we're not gonna get into that. That was one of those things where it was like, no, get somebody else. All I saw was Usher.
Oh, that's sad, man. I mean, he was in good shape, man. I mean, when is he not? But I was just saying.
So is Jonathan Majors. Anyways, listen.
That's different. That's different. That's different. I don't know what he.
There's levels to this. Listen, they say broccoli and rice. I say it's something else. But look, let's get to it, right? We're going. No disrespect. Shout out to Jonathan Majors, right? Yale Mafia. Don't get me on that. We want to talk about this fraud alert thing, right? And there's a guy I've been itching to talk about for a while. I'm surprised I never brought him up on the podcast, right? I call him Captain Crunch. You might know him as Kirk Cousins. I've never seen a guy get more for doing less, right? Kirk 5 chains until he gets on the field against a top 10 defense and can't move the chains. What are we doing, right? Now, they told us Kirk Cousins was the missing piece to the Minnesota Vikings, a.k.a. the Purple People Eaters, a.k.a. the team that is probably the most cursed team in NFL, AFL history, right? Here's why. They're close. They're close. Every time they were supposed to win, they've never gotten it done. Even the team with Randy, what was it? Was it Culpepper and they were 15-1? 98.
I haven't seen them all.
And then they lost to those bum dirty birds.
And I was so pissed off at that. But back to Captain
glad
Crunch.
it did happen, or else my man Shay wouldn't have 2 rings.
True. Actually, I don't know. The way they played, if they play how they played the Falcons, he still would. They probably would have beat the bricks off him with Shay and Elway, Listen, that team was for real with TD. That team was good.
Yeah.
Second best team I've ever seen lace them up,
Yep. And I'm not a Broncos fan. I'm just keeping it real. That team was good.
Oh, I was talking about the Vikings. But yeah, go ahead.
So, they said Kirk Cousins was the missing piece, right? After Case Keenum took them 13-3, right? They had the Minnesota Miracle. And of course, they kind of didn't do as well in the championship game. But nonetheless, it was a super successful season. Rather than give Case Keenum a chance to run it back, Kirk Cousins turned down more money from the New York Jets, right? Just to go to Minnesota, who had all the pieces. What does he do? Underachieves, a perennial 9-win, 8-win quarterback until this year, right? So the reason that Stephon Diggs is in Buffalo, he got tired of the frustrations of playing with Kirk Cousins. To the point, he took it public, which you should never do with your negotiations, when he realized they extended Kirk again after another mediocre season. What are your thoughts? Is Kirk Cousins, is he a top 10 quarterback? Is there something mysterious that we're missing here? Like, I'm lost on a guy who, if he doesn't have every piece to the puzzle, every ball bounces his way, he just now can finally win 10 or 11 games. And it's more the team than him. But talk to me.
Kirk Cousins is the living embodiment of white privilege.
My man. Listen, I'm sending you.
I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm not saying that he's mediocre. What I'm saying is that he gets the benefit of the
chances.
doubt
Yes.
every single time. That's what I'm saying.
That is a fair statement,
Indeed.
but in my opinion, Kirk Cousins is the absolute definition of average.
Mm.
He is
I take both.
just regular. He beats the teams he's supposed to beat, and he loses to the teams he's supposed to lose to. Plain and simple.
And they don't pay him to lose to them. They said he's the missing piece.
Hey, look.
And they turn around and put a 40 burger on him. He's on the sideline looking down at the little Microsoft tablet. I'm like, where's the touchdown?
Wait a second, man. He got the Colts, though. He got back at the Colts, man. He only spotted him 38, man. 33.
Jeff Saturday, who got hired on a Sunday. Come on, man. We got come on.
That's almost
He said, I'm smart and I know football, and I can tell you right now, I'm going to go in there. I know how to lead a group of men, and I have no coaching experience, and I went 3-7 as a high school coach. Hey, that's enough. You know what? Jim Irsay, fresh off a couple martinis, said, you know what? Yo, that's my guy. That's my guy. Forget about the qualified staff that's here. This is my guy.
Hey, look, Jim Irsay said they're going to lose anyway. He might as well lose with his homies. Either way, they're losing. They ain't winning.
Yo, super fast.
You can bring 2011 Belichick. They still are taking them L's. It don't matter. They don't got the talent or the skill set in that locker room to win.
And with all you just said, that's less white privilege than Kirk Cousins' career.
Is it? Is it?
Kirk Cousins' entire career is an embodiment of that.
Yo, Kirk Cousins got what's that joint? A team where the team franchise tag like 3 times.
Sure did.
That's because the Redskins are a piss poor ran organization.
I don't know. I don't recognize that organization. I don't recognize that organization. I don't know.
No, wait, Greg, it's the football team. My bad. TJ,
they were the Redskins when he was on there. That's what I said. They were the Redskins when he was on there.
No. I'm just talking. Basically, they're no matter their name, they're a losing team.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
The Redskins, the Washington football team, the Commanders, all of them can form together like Voltron, and they are still the worst run organization in football.
They're still going 5-11. What you saying?
Well,
that's how you get a guy
that has 3 chances to go.
What you say, T?
No, I said as bad as they are and have been, they recognize it was time for Kirk to go ahead and roll.
Really.
Time for him to go.
He said, you know what? The bag's bigger over here. I'm gonna go to Minnesota. Yeah, because I said if he's that great,
they could have signed him though, right? I mean, they didn't have the franchise tag. They did. I mean, they recognize that. Well, I'll say this: if you're sitting there and you've got all the the pieces to your team, you got them laid out on the board, and you say, "Man, we are so close," and then you got to talk yourself into Kirk. I think those martinis you were talking about.
Yeah,
I think that's how you get there, right?
I think so.
He hasn't done. He is. I'm trying to think of an example. He's like I don't know, like the tortoise and the hare or something. I don't know. He's like, he's like the hare. He takes off and he looks like everything is going fine, and then somehow he figures out a way to lose to the turtle. He just always figures out a way to screw it up at the last minute, except for when he plays against, would you say, Jeff Saturday, who got hired on Sunday.
Yeah, it is. That's it.
He's like, Kirk Cousins is a less talented, not as handsome version of Tony Romo. He's an average guy. He's nothing special.
He can't close.
He's just been on. He's on a decent team and he looks decent. But once those playoffs start, it's a wrap for him.
You know what?
He has one playoff
win. I'm going to switch my opinion. I got 3 things to say to you guys. You like that, and that's all I got to say.
The epitome of the privilege altogether. The man who's never won anything major can walk in a locker room and scream that and get all the media press coverage like he won 4 Super Bowls. But again, I digress. They do the same thing for Aaron Rodgers and his Ayusaka, who has 1 Super Bowl appearance, and they treat it like he's Tom Brady. I don't know.
First off,
better.
The reason why they treat Aaron Rodgers like that is because his talent level is on Tom Brady. Let's not get confused. Aaron Rodgers is a top 10 quarterback all times. Kirk Cousins
What
is not? He's not even a top 10 Vikings quarterback of all time, probably.
Man.
So, a huge difference.
That's not true. I can only name about 5 quarterbacks that are better than him.
No.
On the Vikings?
Yeah.
History?
Fran
Tarkenton,
Brandon Cunningham. I'd say Dante Culpepper.
Yes.
Rich Gannon. And of course, Joe Webb. I mean, wow.
Not you Joe Webb. You could even throw that.
Not Joe Webb. Yeah.
That piece of trash Brett Favre in that group if you want to.
Yep, I sure would.
He did play for them, didn't he?
Yeah, played very well for him.
He did.
So I'm definitely going to take Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah.
I'm going to up you one, Aj. I'm going to take Wade Wilson.
I don't know.
I am. I'm going to take Warren. I'm taking Warren Moon.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Warren Moon. That's easy money.
I'm taking the underrated Jeff George.
No, I would take.
He was a talented thrower of the ball.
I would take Kirk Cousins over Jeff George. I'll just tell you
what.
Same result. What's the difference?
Honestly, I would.
You get the same result. What's the difference? I mean,
Kirk Cousins is a delight to be around, and Jeff George is the son of a bitch.
Well, Jeff George is less expensive. Anyway,
I would be like, "Hey, come on, Kirk, let's go."
Not for $84 million. I ain't. Come here, Jeff.
Listen, I'll take Tavarius Jackson and Brooks Bollinger too if I didn't want to be embarrassing. But listen, I get it. So let's pivot from Captain Crunch, right? Salute to them. They're winning right now, but we know what's coming. We all know what's coming. But I got to talk about a guy that I didn't see this coming, and I'm trying to decide. You tell me, do we blame him or do we blame the coach, right? So I'm talking about Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson, right? Mr. Got my Bible today. I got a Bible verse. I don't answer questions. Bronco Nation, let's ride.
That's right.
Russell, what's going on with the locker room? How's your team? Are you trying to God is the greatest. It's amazing. Russell, you all just lost by 40. Yeah, every day he wakes me up is just like he has a script in his head, right? What do we think about Russell Wilson? Because I have some thoughts, but what are your thoughts?
I think that every quarterback that puts on a Broncos uniform and gets Jesus-y stinks. That's what I think.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
There will be no Tim Tebow slander on this pod today. That's all I gotta say about that.
What he's turned into. He has basically turned into Beige Tebow. He's a great guy.
Yes.
I think Russell Wilson's a solid dude. Him as a person, love that guy. Great dude. Same with Tim Tebow. Him as a person, Tim's a delight. They suck.
That's
stuck in Mile High Stadium. I don't know what's happening. And I refuse to support them after you're carrying on the legacy of one John Elway. I cannot be a part of any of this.
Oh, I see your heartburn with it.
I can't be. I refuse. Especially, like I said, Tim Tebow, that was expected. Russell?
Yes.
And you know what? It's not 100% Russell's fault because their coach is trash.
Yep. Listen, he's a Jeff Saturday who was a coordinator, but never really excelled because they told us that he called plays.
He's not Jeff Saturday. He's a Jeff Monday because nobody likes Mondays. Don't nobody like this motherfucker. Garbage.
That's a soul.
Listen. They told us this man was calling plays in Green Bay, right? Then we find out Matt LaFleur waits until he leaves. Oh, I was calling the plays. So what
the heck you say? Get out.
A slight hand of change here. Wait a minute. You just said a bunch of these other guys can't get a job because you don't know if they call plays. Hackett never called a play. Hackett doesn't even look like he played Madden with some of the stuff he does. Their first few games of mismanagement with timeouts, I'm like, this is your coach?
Let's face it. He can't hack it.
I like what you did there.
What?
I will say this. I had no idea that a coach was so important to the success of a quarterback until I saw Russell Wilson in Denver. It started making me think about other quarterbacks and just how narrow maybe the gap is between all the exception of maybe the first couple, because he doesn't even look like he knows how to play anymore.
I don't know what happened to him.
Let me throw it. See, I said this before. and I know y'all can go back and look at it. My theory about football, with the exception of it's almost like on some religious, poor righteous teachers 5%ers type shit. Only like 5 to 10% of those people are actually way better than everyone else. Like an exception where you can throw them in any system and they're just going to be good no matter what. The rest of these dudes are all at the base level. All of them are the same thing. It all comes down to coaching. Now, I will say this. When they let Russell Wilson, I think that the one game where he got off, it felt like he was playing like he did in Seattle. When they were losing, when they were playing against Kansas City, they were like, you know what? I guess we'll just throw this away, just let Russell play how he plays. And they finally let Russ cook, and he was chefing it up.
He threw 3 touchdowns before the head injury or whatever.
Yeah. And then I don't know, man. I mean, like I think that next season, if they let Russ be Russ, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he has a comeback season of the year. But I was telling people, man, it's just like the whole Geno Smith thing. I don't want to come back. I don't want to be the guy who goes into a time machine and tell people how right I was. But listen, I told people, man, like a lot of these guys they're the best 32 people, 64 people, or whatever in the world at playing quarterback. No matter how terrible you think they are, right?
Yeah.
Some of them, but most of them, everyone from guy 65. I would say down to guy 15. Difference between them is just what team they end up on and coaching.
Well, allow me to retort. The whole thing with Russell Wilson is actually one of those guys. The problem with Russell Wilson is he does not have the balls to tell his coach to shut up and do what he's supposed to do. That's what the real problem is. Russell is too nice of a guy. Because I can guarantee you're not going to sit there and do that to Aaron Rodgers.
No.
He's just going to sit there and take it. Nope. You think Tom Brady's going to sit there and let you make a bunch of bad plays? Nope.
Audible.
I'm acting like I didn't hear none of that. You know what I'm saying?
So this is partially Russell's fault for not being mean enough to his coach and being like, nope, we're not doing that. I'll take care of this. Thank you very much, sir.
I kind of agree with that part too, though, because like the teammate, right, who's been like a journeyman around the league, coming off the field after committing a penalty nonetheless against the Carolina Panthers, turns around, walks off the field. He gets in Russ's face and starts screaming. And you have people in the media applauding that. I'm like, wait, what? Why? Listen, you can have a personal vendetta against somebody. I mean, people are mad at the money, clearly. He's being paid $250 million. I'm like, there's Kirk Cousins right there. He has no Super Bowl appearances. He has one playoff win that if it wasn't for Drew Brees falling off the bridge like I've never seen anybody fall off, he had none. Okay, because the 49ers ate Kirk for breakfast the next game. But you treating, old buddy like he's never won anything. And I'm like, all he was doing in Seattle was winning. Legion of Boom came and went. He was still winning. Wasn't the Super Bowl appearances because they didn't have the Legion of Boom on defense, but they were winning. They were competitive for that division. And that NFC West is pretty tough. So I don't know. It's a special case there. I blame Nathaniel Hackett. And then if Russ sucks next season, then you know what? It might be time to, go hold Sierra's stuff while she goes to perform in a Verizon commercial. But go ahead, Teej, what you got?
No, I'm saying I think I'm with you. It kind of dovetails off of what Odd was saying. Like the coach has to implement a system that the quarterback can, his tool set is useful within the system so that he can go out there and perform well.
Yeah.
And the drop off, there's no other explanation for it other than coaching. I mean, if we put Russ back on Seattle, I don't think he would look like that.
Exactly.
No.
That's exactly right. He would. Because Pete Carroll is a good coach who schemes them up. That's why.
Yeah.
Scheme them up, Pete.
Listen, I think if you get Sean Payton to the Broncos, I think this same Broncos team would win at least 13 games next year. Sean Payton's a great offensive mind.
I will say one thing. When he went to the Broncos and people were like, yeah, boy, that's all they were missing. I was like, I don't see it. I couldn't name 2 people on the Broncos before that. Von Miller was already gone. So
yes.
I couldn't name 2 people on that team. People
they've been solid, man. Their coach is trash.
I couldn't name 2 people on that team, Greg.
Yeah.
I think Chris Harris is going that corner. So now they just had P2. And then they got which is Patrick Surtain II for y'all that don't know in the audience. And he's dope. He's really good. His father was good in the league, and he's younger. I don't want to say better version yet because he has a lot to prove, but he's on path to that. And so again, the kid who runs routes from Alabama really well, that drops all the passes. Again,
Jetty Judy.
See, even I didn't even have to say anything. You knew who I was talking about. That tells you all you need to know.
I mean, like,
so they need work. You're right. I just hate to see it. But listen, as we ready to close out this show.
If the Broncos coach was a brother named Leroy, he would have been fired in week 4.
If that was Natron Means, he would have been like, listen, you got to get out. You got to go. They would have slammed that door a long time ago. What's old buddy from Kansas City Chiefs that's still trying to get a job? They can't get a job no matter how many Super Bowls he wins. The offensive coordinator.
What is his name?
Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. Eric and Brian Leftwich too.
Yes.
That was them. They'd have been fired week 4. They'd have been like, enough's enough.
Listen, that privilege is real. Look at the Peterman stepping in to back up somebody last night in the game, right?
Unbelievable.
Look at the Peterman.
I still don't believe this guy has a job in the NFL, but
look, nobody holds a clipboard better than Peterman.
You know what he is? He must be a hell of a locker room guy.
Oh yeah.
He's gotta be a locker room guy.
This dude throws the best parties, has all the Peterman.
No, but
Peterman can barbecue his ass off.
No, but Greg, that was the point I'm making about the Russell Wilson thing, right? So they hate him so much right now in the media that they were like, only half his team showed up to his birthday party. I said, do you know how large your football team is on their day off to show up to your party? Are you kidding me? Come on.
It's the offense. Like, why?
Yeah,
the defense don't talk to Russell Wilson.
I'm like, I want to go to a Russell Wilson party. I don't want to be, like, hey, yeah, did you go to the Russ party? Nah, man, I missed that. I have better things to do on my day off here. No, it's it's cool.
I wonder if I threw a party, how many of my work people would come to my party?
This is what I'm saying. If you had a party right now, could you get half of the folks you work with to show up to your party?
No.
This is what I'm saying. No. I thought that was a hell of a number, but old buddy on Good Day Football that's mad because Russ and Sierra didn't talk to him on the red carpet, and again, more entitlement issues. I'm like, damn, who are you again? If it wasn't for the show, would I know you? If I saw you in Whole Foods, would I know you? No. Damn. Why? Why are you entitled to have somebody say hi? Why are you pressed? A lot of reporters today, I feel like they're taking the path of trying to become an influencer. You have the reporter that was mad disrespectful to old buddy from the Bucks last night, when he had like the mistake in the game, and she was like, why? What have you done this year to make it where we should talk to you? And I'm glad they ripped her apart. She got what she paid for today. It's just one of those things that you hate to see it because you're talking to one of the most, whatever the number is for the NFL. I think the NBA is 400. NFL, don't get me started. I don't know. But that number of talented people in the world, and your first thought is to disrespect them to their face like that. I'm like, come on, man. You don't need to do that. Like, it's pointless. So it's a tough thing, right? So one of the things is we're going to pause here for a second before we wrap our show for the year. I forgot, and forgive me for introducing the Goodman brothers. We have Aji. We got TJ. We got Greg Goody. And before that, it's me, Smallwood Worldwide. So in closing out our topics here, right? One of the things I look at with 1st and 15 coming from behind the 8 ball, there's always the story to come back, right? What is your favorite sports story of the year so far? And I want each of you to give me a bold prediction in the coming year.
I'll go first. As far as my favorite story, I guess.
Yeah.
It would have to be the World Cup final, man.
Woo!
It would have to be the World Cup final. It's the world's game. I'll never forget this, man. It was like it was quite a while ago, probably like eight years ago or so. And person that I worked with, they didn't really watch sports like that, and everybody from our office, because the USA was playing in the World Cup or whatever, all went out to this bar or whatever during lunchtime or whatever. We did this thing where it was like everyone team building exercise, right? That's what we did when the team built next time. She wasn't really into it. She was like, I never really watched any of the stuff. I turned and looked at her. I said, people say a lot of things that are hyperbole. I said, but the World Cup is literally the greatest sporting event in the world.
That's right.
Statistic where they were like, Super Bowl, 10.5 million. It's like World Cup, 4 billion. It's like that means half the world watching the game. So for half of the world to be watching you play and you to be down 2-0 and to have a dude do a hat trick in that game.
Yes, that's right.
That was basically what we watched was basically the finals of 2016, except for it was in soccer. That's right. You know what I mean? Lionel Messi got to play LeBron. Mbappe got to play I guess Draymond in that game. But I would have to go with that. Prediction for next year: Pelicans are coming out of the West.
I like it. I'm not going to debate that at all.
Pelicans coming out of the West.
I actually like that a lot because I think they pissed off Zion, and Zion is playing at a level right now that's just unbelievable. Like if you forget about stats, the 360 or tomahawk, whatever he did at the end of the game, and they were like pissed off, and I'm like, wait, Phoenix, weren't you the same cats like showboating here? Listen, they didn't forget. Zion's tired of the fat jokes. He's tired of people saying he's injured. He's tired of the disrespect. And I have to admit, like when he came out and it was a choice between Zion and Ja Morant, I went with Ja. And I still think Ja's the future of the league. But let me tell you, Zion is a beast. He's coming.
I went with Zion because I have seen Zion several times, and I said to myself, there is nothing you can do. Somebody had not seen Zion play, and they asked me to describe it. I looked them straight in the face, and I said, imagine a bear with a 46-inch vertical. That's what it looks like. It looks like Cocaine Bear doing 360. Ridiculous.
And you want no part of that. You make a business decision real quick.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like I seen him play. I seen him go up against guys literally like maybe 4 or 5 inches taller than him, bully him in. Even if they block him, he jumps really fast. He's a double jumper. He'll get his rebound and go right back up. It's like just nothing you can do with him. I mean, like it's Pelicans out the West.
He's built like a linebacker too, and so I remember he bullied somebody. And I'm trying to remember the name player. It was like a star player, a new age star, but he just snatched the ball from him, and the dude was looking like he wanted to cry. I remember that, like, yo, you remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, he treated like elementary school. That was his rookie year.
Yeah,
yes, like it was on the playground.
I want to say it was somebody on the Knicks, but that's just because of my proclivity to hate the Knicks.
Zion Williams, like I said, the best way I can describe him is like Lawrence Taylor on stilts. Like he's just a big, strong, aggressive dude. He's a problem. And I still think John's gonna be better because I don't think Zion's body's gonna be able to hold up.
That's the question they need answering.
He's gonna have an amazing peak, and it's gonna be a quick downfall because his body, he's just your body's not supposed to be able to do that at that size. That's all I'm saying. And it's gonna fall apart eventually. And no fault of his own. He's just a big dude. His bones can't sustain that, man.
I don't know, man. I think that he's fine. I don't think he's gonna stop. I don't think that guy even knows how to stop.
I think he's gonna have a great 10 years. I think that'll be it.
Teach, what you got for us?
So the comeback, I'm a little torn. I wish it was last year because then my story would be Steph Curry.
Love
Steph, man.
Still a great story.
Technically, that's this year, TJ. Technically,
was that this year? Okay.
Yeah, technically it is.
All right, cool. Because they were dogging him so much, man. And I'm a fan of Steph. I really love. Like I saw him play in person before I really knew much about him.
Yeah,
was completely blown away. I mean, he poured in 51 points on the hapless Wizards. But John Wall played his tail off that game, but it was nothing he could do. He was, dripping, pouring sweat at the end. But Steph Curry was, he was barely even winded. I mean, the guy was absolutely unbelievable. And he's always been a model citizen. He's a family man. He's got, values, and he gives back to his community. And they were still just trying to just tearing the man down. And it got so much satisfaction out of him winning that championship. I was just so glad for him, man. Like, I was rooting for him to win it because they had kind of written him off. They wrote him off, like his days of winning were behind him. That was it. So that's my comeback one.
Awesome. What's your bold prediction for 23?
Bold prediction. You know what? I'm gonna go with 2023 will be the last year that Kawhi Leonard plays professional basketball.
That's what I'm talking about.
I like that.
That's
spicy but true.
You're about 3 years late.
Hold on, let's go to Kawhi for a comment. Kawhi,
the board man gets paid.
Board man made it to retire, man.
Emotional response by Kawhi.
Yeah, but I think he definitely hangs it up before LeBron. But I think next year is it. I think next year is it.
I agree. So I'm going to go next, and I'm going to let Greg, a.k.a. Greg Goody, take us home. For me, there are so many sports stories I thought that were incredible this year, but I think back to being a kid and my dad taking me to a game, right? And so this was Italia 90, right? Roberto Baggio, who also choked in the World Cup, right? But was one of my favorite players, still is. When you look back and you actually played soccer, I don't know if any of you have ever played, a penalty kick, the amount of pressure that comes with that, Messi, Mbappe, everybody, they make it look easy. Shout out to Croatia's whole team makes it look easy. Like they're just ice in the veins. But, I fell in love with the game. And I'm talking about the World Cup. Club level, all that, yeah, is dope. But there's nothing like seeing the country's camaraderie, all the celebrations in the stands, and then the games begin. It's like the Hunger Games for soccer. And somebody's going to rise, somebody's going to fall. Every year, somebody's going to get upset. Shout out to Germany crying on the bench this year. It happens. You don't get out the group stages. But it was watching, Mbappe after he was down, after he goes out there and then he does a hat trick, but he accepts the award. And where I was impressed was that he didn't crack a smile. And this is somebody who won a World Cup. It would be easy for him to be like, hey, yeah, it's good. That's what's up, Messi. You got one. No. He was a competitor to the end. Now, he dapped him up. He showed him love. But there was nothing smiling. He sat on that bench and he soaked it in. And then I felt bad for everybody in the next 4 years and what this young man is going to rain down on them,
He's only 23. It's crazy.
I know. And the thing for me is it was the game itself, right? So one of the things I love about TakeOff Sports Talk, obviously we have a good camaraderie and a great synergy here, but sports brings people together, right? People of all walks of life, people who never thought about talking to another person will get together in a bar and watch a hockey game, you'll watch a soccer match. And the World Cup final had people who had no business watching the game, watching it, right? And we know it's open to everybody, but it's just like, oh my gosh, did you see this? You don't see that with anything else. You don't see that with American football. You don't see it with the Super Bowl. As world famous as LeBron is, you don't see it with the NBA finals. And he went to like almost 10 in a row or something like that, a ridiculous number. People were literally rooting for the amazing match that we had. And when the chaos ensued, when Mbappe scored 2 goals in less than 60 seconds, when you saw Messi and them get ready from being on the verge or ready to celebrate to like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And they have to wake up and get back to business. But he didn't choke. You saw Messi step into the moment and like deliver some incredible strikes. Even the ones that the goalie blocked. Shout out to that goalie for France, because when they show the replay in fast motion, you don't see it. But when you watch the replay and you realize Messi's kicked it between my leg, TJ's leg, over Greg's head, and it curves into Aji's hand just barely enough, like by a finger to like deflect the ball. That's like a superstar, right? At the highest level of what they do. That's a GOAT. And it's just like, how did he see that? How did he been, you start to question, like, that wasn't an accident. This wasn't like an accidental goal scoring, like Alexi Lala and them in 94 here in the US and LA. Like, this was like, these are cats that are like, if you've ever played with a cat that's played soccer from the time they were like 2 years old and they just got the ball attached to their foot and they do things that you never thought, the joy that it brought the world was something that, you know, for me, I was like, I love this. I was actually texting one of my coworkers the whole match because we were on the edge of our seats. Every play, every moment, and then it goes to penalty kicks, and then, you know, we all know what happens there. All bets are off. But, you know, somebody's heart is going to get broken, but it's the greatest thing in the world. And I feel like it has to be every 4 years, because if it didn't, there'd be a lot of people with heart attacks. But that was my take there. It's the match. The match itself is just probably pound for pound. Other than Germany just kicking the dog spit out of Brazil 7-1, it was the best match I'd ever experienced. You know, yeah, I have some hate in my blood for Brazil soccer team, but it's all good. But shameless plug.
I always have a saying about Brazil soccer, man. I'm like, yeah, whatever your team is, that's first, but everybody's second favorite team is Brazil. Everybody's second favorite team.
That's it.
So true.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think my bold prediction for next year, Michael Jordan's coming out of retirement and give us 50. No. He's itching. You see him on the sidelines. He's looking.
You mean 50 the entire year?
Hey, listen, I don't know. If Devin Booker's checking him, he might give you 50 that game. That's what I'm telling you.
Fair enough. I got hey.
No, my bold prediction is that LeBron's going to get one more chip. It's not going to be this year, but I do think they get it next year. And I also think he goes to the playoffs with his son.
Wow.
Mark my words.
That's bold. Anthony Davis is out several weeks with a foot injury.
Oh, yeah, that's why I say he's not going to get it this year. Listen, Street Clothes Davis is just like, if I've never seen a guy that you blow on him, you know. Anthony Davis gets out of bed in the morning. You think it's the bed creaking. It's not the bed creaking. It's Anthony Davis' whole body saying, which part of you is going to break today? You know, I think it's a pinky toe that's going to get sprained. Oh, my goodness. Coach, I can't go. I'm like, man, they could have sawed off 2 of Shaq's toenails and Shaq would have gave you 61 and 25. Anthony Davis, what are you doing? Again, I know he's top tier what he does, but look, you gotta keep these dudes on their toes, man.
Was it him that was playing a video game and he was playing as himself and he got hurt on the video?
Yeah. I sent that joint to y'all.
Yo, I saw that and I was like,
his reaction was like,
has it right. And it was an injury where nobody touched him too. That's what was crazy. Yeah, I was like, hey,
they kept it too real.
Yeah,
that's did. Why Anthony Davis' nickname that I gave him is Peanut Butter Brittle. He is a peanut skin tone man that is brittle as they get.
He don't even go down from an elbow to the chest. Anthony Davis grabbed a rebound all by himself and be like, Coach, get me out, get me out.
That's what happened on that reverse layup that he got hurt on.
Yeah.
He reverse layup, landed on his feet, and immediately needed crutches.
Yo, my man, when I was playing ball on Saturday, I was like, man, Anthony Davis got hurt again. And then dude looked at me, he said, yeah, on a rebound. And like lingered out there. He's like, yeah, on a rebound. He had like 1,000-yard stand when he said it.
It's really unfortunate, man. Anthony Davis is one of the best dudes in the league.
It is.
When he's right, unstoppable.
Oh man!
But
the key word win.
Yeah.
Win is going to be win. We don't know. The win might take him out. You know what? Greg, take us home before I keep us rolling, man. What you got for us with the John Henry Jingleheimer Smith hammer in your hand? Talk to us. What you got?
All right, my man. Story of the year to me, it has to be LeBron James. Look, man, this is year 20. This is year 20. This nigga has been around since prohibition.
What happened there? What happened?
It is year 20, and he just scored 30, 4 games straight. 30 plus.
True.
I don't think we're ever like. We need to really appreciate what we're seeing here. We're never gonna see anybody this good for this long ever again. It's year 20. What's he average? 28 points? Do we not remember Kobe's struggle life in year 20?
Yeah.
Kobe's one of the greatest. Do we not remember Kareem barely making it up the court year 20? Karl Malone.
What?
Karl Malone.
He did make it to 20 years, didn't he? I forgot.
He did.
Played for 20 years. And was
don't nobody care about Karl Malone. Huh? Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis. Talk about Karl Malone.
That's pretty much how he was on that team at that time. He was Otis. He was not running.
That's what Kobe said to him. Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis.
Nobody here to see you, Karl.
That's what Kobe said to him.
Yeah, matter of fact, we should have known the Lakers were going to lose as soon as Karl Malone came to that locker room.
You know it.
Yeah.
The Karl Malone stench came in and they went down.
Yeah.
Did nothing. Gary Payton said, I'm going to South Beach, won a title. Look at that. Big difference. If Karl Malone had gone there, Dwayne Wade would have blew out his knees in the first few games. Would have had no chip. That's how the curse of Karl Malone goes, man. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, but I mean, just the fact that LeBron James is in year 20, and there's a debate going on in the league if he's a top 5 player right now.
Yeah,
it is one of the most amazing things I don't even understand how someone can sustain this level of excellence for this long.
Yeah.
If you're going by points and averages and everything else. Can you see me? Yeah, we can see you with that little bow tie on.
But yo, hey, y'all check out the bow tie, bro.
I love it.
I'll get you one $10.
Hey, $10 well spent. We'll take it.
And I wore it to church.
Come on.
But Greg, LeBron gave us 33, 7, and 9.
Boondocks. I know.
But I mean, think about it. Year 20, he gave us 33, 7, and 9, 33.7 rebounds, 9 assists, right? He did that in 36 minutes without Anthony Street Clothes Davis, right?
Exactly.
Again, what are we doing? I mean, listen, AD looked like he had more fun when they was tickling him on the floor at Kentucky in the locker room, okay? AD gets out on the court right now. And you know what AD looks like? He looks like a guy who aged in dog years, okay? I'm watching AD out there, and I'm like, look, you're supposed to be carrying the team. LeBron is supposed to be like the super throw-in. LeBron feels like he's back in 07 Cleveland when he had Ricky Davis. What are we doing? You know? So it's like
I said,
yo, you're on Ricky Davis, yo.
His numbers in year 20 are comparable to his numbers as a rookie. Actually, I think they're better.
Yeah.
He's better in year 20 than he was in year 1 through 5 at least.
That's about.
He's ruined the way people look at aging, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely he's ruined that. He's ruined that for real. It's over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you thought Kobe was popular in Asia. Oh yeah.
And I have another great story too. Russell Westbrook coming off the bench.
Yes.
Amazing story. I'm glad he swallowed his pride, and I'm glad he's back to being Russ. And that there, applause to him. I remember we had a debate about it before, and I think they were like
him and Kyrie.
Him or Kyrie. And I do remember saying I'd take Kyrie unless Russ comes off the bench.
I think we all took Russ, though. We all knew that Russ is.
Y'all all took Russ. I took Kyrie because I'm stupid. I'm stupid, and that was a mistake on my part. But I was saying if Russ comes off the bench, that's exactly what needed to happen. I was saying it all last year, just like the rest of America, and he finally decided to make it happen. So kudos to him.
Man,
bold prediction. My bold prediction is that the Bengals are going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Next year or this year?
This year coming up, right now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That's crazy.
Joe Burrows is a beast.
Oh, yeah.
He's a beast. And he's the only dude that knows how to beat Patrick Mahomes somehow. He's the only one that can do it. Yeah. He's his kryptonite. That man
Honestly,
he is the road runner to Patrick Mahomes' fucking Wile E. Coyote. He can't find a way to beat this man. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. Mahomes will beat the brakes off of anyone else. He won a game with 13 seconds left that he had no business winning in Buffalo. And then he let the dude from Home Alone beat him the very next with almost no difficulties at all. And he's done it twice this year. The Bengals have beat him twice this year, right?
I think they got him once
this year. Yeah. So if they go to the playoffs, the Chiefs are gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
I've complete faith that Buffalo will find a way to lose. And
another cursed franchise.
Yeah, they're gonna find a way to lose. And Joe Burrows is the only one that can beat Mahomes. That's really all that's standing in his way.
Yeah.
The only thing standing in his way is if somehow he ends up having to play the Bills that are gonna lose to the Chiefs. But if the Chiefs and the Bills play, Chiefs are gonna beat the Bills, and he's gonna beat Patrick Mahomes again, and they're going to the Super Bowl. Now, whether they win or not, who knows? But I think they're gonna go.
I don't think there's a team right now out of the NFC who beats them. There's no more Odell right now. Odell probably wouldn't be able to play until closer to the Super Bowl at 100%. The Cowboys, you saw what happened with them. Jacksonville smacked them, and they came close to getting smacked before. They are prone to kind of play down to their competition level. So
that's because the Cowboys quarterback is Black Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
That is not true. That is not true.
That's exactly who he is.
Don't do it, Greg. I care about you.
Dakota.
To quote Stu Gatz, don't do it. I care about you. Don't do it. You're going to end up beating those words, Greg.
When?
Soon, I'm pretty sure.
You really think that the Cowboys are going to do something?
They're not going to not do nothing. You don't think the Cowboys can win a playoff game? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl.
They could. I don't know.
I don't think they're going to win a playoff game.
What did you say?
I'm pretty sure they're going to figure out a way to lose like they always do.
I mean, it's easy to say so. There's only one winner. You can't just say they're going to lose. You're saying it like you know what I'm saying?
Like it hasn't been happening for the last 20 years. I know. Crazy.
Every year the Dallas Cowboys fans are going to the Super Bowl.
You called Dak Prescott white privilege. That's what you just said. Now you got to think about what you're saying here.
No, I said Dak Prescott is cowboy privilege.
No.
Anyone would care about Dak Prescott if he was wearing a Saints uniform? He wouldn't have one commercial.
Are the Saints 10-4? If he's wearing the uniform?
Listen, if he was wearing the Saints uniform, Dennis would have him on the bench in place of Andy Dalton. My bad.
That's not true, yo. I'm not gonna let y'all sit here.
You act like hold on. You're acting like Dak is responsible for all of these 10 wins.
What are you saying? What do you mean?
I'm saying
what do you mean?
that Dak Prescott is very average. Nothing special. He's good. He's not bad.
He's not great though.
Careful. I care about you. Careful.
I told you I can name 10 quarterbacks off the top of my head right now that I'd rather have than Dak Prescott.
What would you win though? What
would I win? A playoff game without Dak. That's what I would win.
Boys in North Africa didn't win a playoff game without Dak.
Oh boy.
Who you got, Kyler or Dak? I'm sorry, you're in the middle of saying something else.
Wait, Kyler
Murray?
Yeah.
Murray?
Yeah.
It's a simple question. That's easy. That's an easy question. That's an easy answer.
It's actually not as easy as you think.
Now,
if I take Kyler Murray and put him on the Cowboys right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is Kyler on the Cowboys?
Is Kyler studying? I mean, what are we doing here?
I'm not talking about swapping teams, right? I'm not saying put on the other. You can put them both on Dallas, or you can put them both on the Cardinals, or whatever iteration. Whatever you want.
I mean, right now I got to go with Dak. I mean, Kyler, Mike McCarthy, people don't want to admit it. He's a better coach than Kingsbury. I don't think Kingsbury should have gotten extended again. More Kirk Cousins privilege going out
now
there.
That's a Kirk Cousins call, Greg. That's how you do it.
Yes.
Throw Dak Prescott in there.
But Kingsbury's been a legendary loser since Texas Tech, and somehow he failed his way up into a job, and then he lost some more. They got rid of Steve Wilkes, right? After 1 year when they drafted Josh Rosen. Again, he wasn't a bad quarterback at UCLA, but was he the guy you should have took? No.
Not when Lamar Jackson's in the draft.
I'm lost on how do you pass that up? Because I remember
if you're Greg, you take him over Dak. I mean, wow.
I'll take who over Dak?
Josh Rosen.
No. I wouldn't do that.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard you saying.
He's just not good.
All right, man.
Just like Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
They're the same dude.
They might play in the first round. I'd love to see this matchup.
Oh, what happened last time, right? Dak put a 40 burger on.
Hey, all I can say is this. I saw what happened last time.
Captain Crutch was on the sideline studying that clipboard like, what happened? Another pick. Okay. And I thought he was studying plays. You know what he was doing, Aj? He was watching Seinfeld. That's what he was doing. I said, oh, this is why he can't get it done. I understand now. He's like, man, he said, they paid me $80 million guaranteed. I don't have to study. Kyler Murray doesn't. Oops. But no.
Be careful, Greg. I care about you. Don't go out on those takes like that, man. Don't do it. You already got a Kyrie versus Westbrook on your resume. Don't do it.
Hey, look, I said if Westbrook comes off the bench, I'd take him. If Westbrook was starting right now, it wouldn't be the same.
You already got that Geno Smith take out there, too.
Geno Smith take. He was terrible back then.
Was he?
Yes.
Was he on the Jets? Was he terrible or was he on the Jets?
Same thing.
I got nothing for this. I care about you. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing. Look, Geno Smith sat back with a clipboard, calmed down, let people forget about him, and then remade himself. Good for Geno.
Let's be clear. Geno Smith was waiting on his jaw to heal after he didn't pay the guy the $600.
Oh my God. Yo, there will be no Geno slander allowed.
No, I'm a Geno guy.
Geno's the comeback player of the year.
Oh, yeah. Clear.
Easily.
Let's be clear. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you how good Geno is. He was a black dude who didn't start for 7 years, and he was still in the NFL to get a second shot. That's how good Geno Smith is.
Yeah. Because he didn't take a knee.
That's right.
You said what now? What happened?
Nah, I said because he didn't take a knee. I think people forget how cold Kaepernick was when he was balling.
Oh,
Cap was cold. Yeah. And he's so cold that I never heard of him. I watch a lot of college football. And so who's this guy in Nevada they keep talking about?
I heard of him.
Offense. I mean, I'd heard the name after a while, but I didn't, I didn't think nothing of it. But
I saw him because that was when Boise State was out there trying to challenge for a national championship. Anybody who knows me in college football knows how much I hate college football and how much I would have loved to see Boise State win the whole thing. And I was like, Boise State can go. And Kaepernick one cold November night went out there in Stanford and stamped all over the goddamn Boise State Broncos. I was like, who is this kid ruining my predictions?
Yeah, man.
I know who it wasn't, and it wasn't Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he beat Alabama and Mississippi State and made them number one. I guess that's nothing.
Humbug. With your college. We're talking about the pros here.
I'm just on fire right now. Listen.
Same, man.
Flame emoji across the screen. Flame on.
Man,
care about you.
I'll give you your silly little college references. But I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys are going to do nothing. They're not going anywhere.
Care about you.
They're going to find a way to lose like they always do. Just like the Vikings are going to find a way to lose.
Just like Washington's going to find a way to sign a quarterback who's not a franchise quarterback to a long contract and then wonder where they are in 10 years. But look, ladies, gents, it's been real. This has been an incredible year. Let's clap it up for the Goodman brothers coming through all year long. We're greatly appreciative for anything they've offered us. A lot of insights, a lot of gems. I know y'all love the shows. Subscribe to the channel. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. What is your sports story of the year? Who are some of your favorites? Do you have any frauds? We love to see it. Until then, have an amazing holiday season. And I guarantee you, unlike those takes, we'll be back at the top of next year. Peace.